We watched all of Josh Wolf, and I think we got maybe 15 minutes.
What is his? What's his last name? Say it again.
Wolf.
Wolf.
Josh Wolf. How do you say it?
What kind of animal is it?
It's a wolf.
What do you mean?
What the fuck you say it?
Wolf.
That's what I said. Wolf.
That's what you said,
man. I don't need this shit.
Welcome to Get Heavy Podcast. With your host, Craig Kasamis and Big J Curran.
Hey, we're running, dude. I think it's going.
Awesome. What's happening, y'all?
How the hell are you, Jay?
Still recovering, man.
Are you?
It was a hell of a birthday party,
I bet
man.
it was, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet it was, dude.
Yeah. Thanks for being there. Thanks, everybody, if you're listening to this that showed up, man. It was a fantastic time. Raging in the Arb and the Redheads killed it as usual, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun. You know, been watching them play for 30 years as the security guy for their shows or from other stuff, you know, and to be able to actually just kind of stand there and hang out and listen and dance and not have any, you know, anything going on. It was just they were there for my birthday, and it was so much fucking fun. And
yeah, dude.
Everybody that showed up, thank you, man. It was amazing.
Yeah.
To my family, you guys can kiss my ass.
Did any family show
My
up?
brother.
That was it.
My brother's the only person in my family that showed up. And I wasn't sure if he was going to show up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't up until I think like 4:00 on Saturday. I hadn't heard from him, and I wasn't sure. He's like, "Hey, what time's your thing?"
Ah, there you
and then I'm like, "Oh shit, I wasn't sure if you were coming or not."
Yeah,
he goes, I'll be there, fucker.
Because you were constantly claiming that you have all sorts of black family, and there was zero.
I think they listen to the podcast and they're scared of you.
Is that what it is? It's me. It's me.
I don't honestly, man. You know, everybody has stuff going on, and whatever it is, and you know, it's a bummer. But I also understand that everybody has, you know, like my sister's going through stuff that's pretty big, and that makes me nervous. And you know, just everybody has stuff going on. So
yeah, it is what it is. But it was a great turnout, dude. Saturday. Fuck, man. I came out, and I mean, Raging Arb Ross was on the podcast. Ross was on the podcast recently. Ross is my cousin. They are the first concert I ever went to. They're basically the guys that taught me how to play bass. You know what I mean? Yeah. I love those guys to death, dude. And to watch them still like having a great fucking time on stage is awesome, dude. You know,
and all the people that show up that have been showing up,
right?
That show up to their gigs and have a good time and dance their ass off, drink. You know, just everybody's having a good time when they're playing, man. Right. You know, it's
they are a good time band.
Yeah, it's I'm so grateful that they were able to do it and that it happened, you know. And I got there at like 5:30, and it was already packed.
Oh, packed, dude.
Yeah. And stayed that way until I left at like 11:30.
Oh, you were there that late?
Yeah.
Man, we were going to go back over there after the Tim Dillion show, but I didn't. You kind of told me it was going to be done by 10, but...
Yeah, you should have just, I never...
We were already pretty fucking hammered.
Yeah, me too.
It was fucking, it was a whole thing, dude.
Yeah.
I paced myself over when I was at your place, but then, so I went, I bought tickets for Tim Dillion a long time ago, completely spaced that Jay had booked his own birthday party that night, so I feel bad for fuck. I actually almost hit you up yesterday about going last night, because he was doing it last night, too.
Oh, shit.
It was sold out, but they were still kind of letting a little bit of tickets at the door.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should have went, but I was pretty fucking hungover, dude.
I was a fucking wreck.
It was a rough one. But so yeah, we were there till about 7:30, and then fucking bailed to my house, jumped in our car, and fucking went over to Tim Dillion, dude. And it was, first of all, I want you right now on the podcast to admit my brisket is incredible.
Oh, your brisket was fantastic. It was a little.
Calm down.
The rub that you put on there was what really made it.
Yeah.
That I got you. And other than that, yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
I had a brisket omelet yesterday that was mind blowing.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
With my brisket.
with your brisket. It was really, really good.
It was the first thing completely gone at your party.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah.
Although I know I took quite a bit of it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, honey was like, "Hey, did you try the brisket?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah." And so then she came back and she showed me what she got was a little tray and there was like 2 pieces of brisket in it. And I went, "Hey, go back over there and take some." She goes, "Well, everybody's getting it." And I go, "It's my birthday.
Yeah.
I don't care. Go get me more brisket." You know, and she did. And it was really, really good, man.
I was shocked actually because it cooked. This is like, I don't know. If you like barbecue, cool. If you don't, sorry, skip this part. But you're probably not listening to this for the right reasons then.
Who the fuck doesn't like barbecue?
You know. Do
you know somebody that doesn't like barbecue?
No.
Because I never talked to him.
Not really. Yeah. No. You cut them right out of your life.
Yeah. You're an American, man.
Yeah.
You know, go back to France.
But I threw it on. I tried a totally different method. I smoked it, right? Normally they take like 15 fucking hours. This one took like 8, and it already hit 200, right? But I also did the foil. I wrapped it in foil rather than butcher paper. So maybe that helped. But I knew I was going to sous vide it as well. So I was trying to get it a little crispier. So I actually fucking I got it done. I started it Friday, right when I got home from work.
Yeah.
Because I had to work all day Saturday. I wasn't going to be able to babysit it.
Yeah.
So I started Friday. By 11:30, it was fucking done. And then I started the sous vide. I fucking vacuum sealed it. I bought a killer little vacuum seal thing. Vacuum sealed it, threw it in the sous vide at 150, and left it until the moment I cut it and went to your place. And I was fucking stoked how it came out, dude.
Yeah.
When a brisket cooks that fast, you think, oh fuck, this is gonna be bad.
We're in trouble.
And I bought it from Winco, so it's like,
not
you
the
know
best
what I mean?
meat either.
Yeah, it's not the best fucking, not the best meat, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I was stoked it turned out well.
Yeah, it was dynamite, man.
Yeah.
It really, really was. And as much as I didn't want it to be, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Right, because you're always making fun of my pellet.
It's not really barbecue. It's
but also
a fancy oven, outdoor oven.
It is.
Yeah. But it you know, I have talked, and I think I talked to you about this. I've talked so much shit to everybody about using a Traeger or whatever one it is, and I have a little Traeger on the side of my house, and I've thought about using it.
You've never used it?
No,
really?
Hell no, man. No, how am I going to use it? You know how much shit I talk?
That's true.
I mean, if anybody comes in and starts talking to me about barbecue at the bar or wherever, the second they tell me that they have a Traeger or a Green Mountain Grill, I immediately just tell them, you don't just fucking go back in the kitchen.
Right.
Don't even talk about barbecue to me if you're using a Traeger. You're not barbecuing. It's made it to where barbecue is a difficult process to do correctly. You know, you can cook a good steak, not fuck it up, or you know, chicken's kind of difficult, but like to do a good brisket, to do good tri-tip, you have to really understand kind of, although tri-tip honestly is pretty easy, but people screw it up a lot. They way overcook it. It's you know, but it's taken like doing pulled pork or doing ribs or doing beef ribs. Like using a Traeger's taken all the work out of it.
Yeah.
You know, because to do ribs is, especially if you're doing like 10 racks of ribs,
right?
It's a job. It is something you have to, you can't fuck with it too much, but you got to pay attention to the temp and you got to keep stoking your oven and like just keep, and I love it. It's the best part. To walk out there and go, I'm almost out of pellets. I better adjust the temperature and pour more pellets in there, and then I'll go back in there and play God of War again.
Just pour more pellets in there. And when it hits the temperature on your digital thermometer, you go, bing bong, fucking done, you know. But what it did do is I really didn't know how to cook meat at all before I got like that shit. Yeah. I really didn't know how to cook meat, dude. Like I didn't know temperature, you know what I mean? I could like do an okay steak by, you know, in the pan or whatever, but it really makes you fucking realize that there's temperature, time, you know, all everything. Things, you know what I mean? It's everything. You know what I mean?
And there's certain things like ribs, beef or pork, ribs and brisket, pulled pork, because you can definitely screw up a pulled pork. 100%, you know. Yeah. Pulled pork though, you can screw it up and then you can still add the sauce and stuff, and but you cannot save a brisket. No. When you know, I don't really like cooking them because of it, you know, because it is really
it's a $60 to $90 risk.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? If you don't know what you're doing,
it's 13 to 16 hours,
right? your time
to cook a piece of meat, but when it's done right, man, and that bark is good, and you fucking squeeze it and that fat's rendered down, and don't give me the lean piece, give me a fat piece, man. That's where that's
where the juice is, dude.
God gave it the fat for a reason, man.
Beautiful.
Chunky's way better.
So you got any highlights, any takeaways from being 53 years old?
Appreciate the people around you. Appreciate your friends. Be grateful for what you have.
Fuck your family.
I've had to deal with them forever.
Yeah, of course.
So I get it. I really, it really, and I know some of them are going to hear this, and well, you should have showed up. But I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't live in Ventura.
Oh, that's a hard ask, dude. Period. That's a hard ask, period, dude.
And they're, it's not always a welcoming feeling to be black and come to Ventura.
Oh, good call.
Right. I mean, it's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
It's just
I found that out when we went to see GZA. We went to, GZA, Wu-Tang did, or it was... He did Liquid Swords at Ventura Music Factory. We haven't even talked about that. You know what I mean?
It was so good.
Which was fucking incredible.
What a fun time, man.
God, it was great. You know what I mean? But you really, you realize how white Ventura is when you go to a Wu-Tang hip-hop show. Yeah. And it is still fucking 80, 90% white people.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
But
I think you had the most black guys with you.
Yeah. all my nephews.
It was insane.
Yeah.
And we went and had dinner before, and it was super fun. You know what I mean? It was great, But you're just like, God damn, Ventura's white, dude. Yeah. Just white,
Yeah, it is.
It's crazy. But how did you feel GZA did?
I think GZA did fine.
Yeah.
I think that Ventura Music Hall has a challenge in its
sound,
its design and stuff, and its sound, but I think they were great. The whole thing was fun.
Great, dude.
Yeah, I enjoyed the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I do think that the music hall definitely has some things that they should work out. Issue, yeah. And the back where the bar is at, if the way that they have it set up, they should put some speakers there so that you can hear back in the back, because that's...
Yeah, they need some overhangs, overhang. They need some fucking ceiling speakers. Every fucking time someone starts a fucking cool thing in Ventura, there's always the caveat of bad music. At least they're getting decent shows. Bad sound, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bad sound. And I'm a sound snob. I really am.
Me too.
I know when shit sounds good. I know when it sounds bad. But every fucking time, dude. The theater. I love the theater. Sounds like shit. Unless they bring their own sound gear, their own guys. It sounds like fucking shit, dude.
It's either that or they just let the sound guys that do work at the theater do their thing without fucking
That
with
could
them.
Be true, too.
I'm pretty confident that that's part of what happens as well as... They go up there and they throw all the stacks up there and they do all this stuff, and then they have somebody that doesn't understand the depth and the sound and how it reverbs through.
Well, and unless the place is packed too. You know what I mean? If it's packed, it's different. But here's the one thing I haven't been to a hip hop show in a long time. The one thing that fucking is so weird to me, and it makes sense. You get portions of a song.
Yeah,
it's really fucking weird, man. I don't know what you would do to circumvent that. You obviously can't have if someone does a guest spot on your song, which a lot of them do.
Yeah,
what are you gonna do? Just play the track? I don't know, but it's so fucking weird because you end up getting a mashup essentially of a record rather than And to see a hip hop artist do a full record was pretty weird. And he threw an ODB song in there, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But it is really fucking weird when you hear half a song and they're and done. You're like, what the fuck, man?
It's also, it goes back to the sound. If you could get a good clear to where it is like a mixtape or a mashup to where it's you're grooving and then there's a transition, but that transition doesn't stop the groove. And the sound is so muddled. It's really kind of hard to hear the lyrics.
Right.
And then the bass is so high and you don't get all the mids and stuff, so that it just kind of, there's a convolution that goes on with it as you go from one song to the other, instead of it being a stream of a good DJ, and I'm sure that they've played other places where everybody's like, that was one of the best shows I've seen.
It was a great show.
Oh, it was fantastic.
The hip hop world is so weird to me because it's naturally, it's like half versions of every fucking song. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because unless they do the whole entire thing, but even then, it's like you watch them cut it short sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, it's just an odd deal, man. I don't know. But, I mean, it was awesome to see GZA do Liquid Swords. Dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it was incredible.
It was... everything was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it was, you know, then wake up in the morning and go to the airport and go to Cabo for 3 days.
That's right, yeah. So
then,
you've been on a tear, right?
Yeah.
We did GZA. Next day you fly out to Cabo for 3 days, right?
Wake up that morning feeling like I felt to hop on a plane.
Honestly, it's probably the best thing to do is be hungover on a plane.
Dude, I was so jacked about just the whole thing that, you know, there is no...
Right.
You know, I don't know what time I went to bed, but I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you know, we were out of the house at 5. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was fantastic, man. And yeah, I agree with being a little off when you get on the plane. Yeah. But it was the plane, and I think I sent you a photo.
Oh yeah,
the plane was absolutely packed. Yeah, packed, and as everybody kept getting on the plane, I have 2 empty seats next to me. Mm-hmm. And I'm like just waiting for somebody to come and sit next to me. Right. And nobody sat next to me. On earth, oh my God, dude. It's the best feeling on earth. And for normal sized people, you might not understand what it's like for somebody like me. Yeah, totally. But this is literally what it's like sitting on an airplane with me. Is the whole time I sit like this. Yeah. And I'm just trying to not encroach on anybody because my shoulders are a little wide. Right. And so the whole time, just sit there, you know, just uncomfortable, and you just kind of work your way through it, and you try not to, you know, and so usually I always try to get an aisle
seat, dude. Fucking seat all day long.
Constantly getting bumped, though. Constantly getting bumped.
I'll take it rather than having to be stuffed in a corner.
So to have 2 empty seats right next to you, man, was glorious. And
so what did you make Honey stack up with some random strangers?
I didn't make her do anything.
You didn't?
But when the seats were empty, I didn't invite her to come sit with me. I was thoroughly enjoying it.
Dude, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Man.
And she fell straight, and I knew she would too. She went straight to sleep.
Oh, really?
As soon as we got on there, her head was back, and she was done, man.
And it's only a couple hour flight, so it ain't too bad.
Yeah.
But dude, I mean, also being a fat guy, knowing it's a problem, you know, I know that I'm going to encroach in some fucking space, you know, if I'm going to sit down next to someone, and it is what it is, and I'll feel bad. But there's no better feeling than seeing a gigantic fat guy in an aisle and looking and going, not my seat. Cool. And I get to go past.
Yes.
And you're like, this fucking guy. Some other sucker's in trouble, dude. Because 2 fat guys in a fucking seat next to each other, it's a real problem, dude. You might as well just, like, get comfy, get fucking married, dude.
Harvey, for you guys that don't know, Harvey's my best friend, and
he's a big
dude.
He's
like 6'6" and like 350, 360 pounds, and he's just a behemoth. And we've flown together to Vegas, and you see people walking towards you, and you see them going,
panic.
Please don't let me sit next to him.
Yeah.
The worst experience we had was we went to see Larry the Cable Guy.
Okay.
At the casino up in
Chumash?
Yeah, up at the Chumash Casino. Okay. We went up there and saw Larry the Cable Guy, and we had seats next to each other, and they're literally fold-up chairs zip-tied together. The whole thing is just,
fuck that.
Yeah, so we got seats next to each other, and so we sit down, and we can't sit next to each other, so he would sit up like this.
Yeah.
And I would lean back,
and then you guys
we would swap back and forth. Josh Wolf, that was the first time I ever saw Josh Wolf. He's absolutely insane. If you haven't seen him, he's so fucking funny.
I really like it. He's a comedian.
Yeah. So it was Josh Wolf, and then it was Larry the Cable Guy. And we watched all of Josh Wolf, and I think we got maybe 15 minutes
What's his last name? Say it again.
Wolf.
Wolf?
Josh Wolf. How do you say it?
What kind of animal is it?
It's a wolf.
What do you mean?
What the fuck you say it?
Wolf?
That's what I said, wolf.
That's what you said?
Man. I don't need this shit. Yeah, Josh Wolf.
Wolf. Wolf. What is happening?
We've talked. Why are you bringing up my?
I just I don't know. Because it's like I didn't know if you didn't thought his name was WUFF. Wolf.
Okay, Josh Wolf. Is that how you
nailed
say it?
it, dude? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Josh Wolf.
What kind of animal howls in the moon?
A wolf.
Yeah.
Is that how you do it?
Yeah, you nailed it, dude.
Yeah. So Josh Wolf was hilarious, dude.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you.
That's all right, man. It was a good show, but we got 15 minutes into Larry the Cable Guy and we split.
Oh yeah, I could
because it was just we were literally both like, well, I'll never come back here again.
Yeah, it's
it was
rough,
just horrible.
Yeah, zip tied chairs, like no fucking way.
And as funny as it sounds and as funny as it is, when we're on a plane and somebody's walking towards you, I totally relate to that fear in their eyes that they're going to have to sit next to me.
Because you know it's a problem.
Yeah. And back then I was probably 310. I'm 260.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like 310 pounds back then, man.
Damn,
and
that's crazy.
Yeah. It was real crazy.
It's a rough one, man. So you do Cabo for 3 days. You come back.
Cabo was so fun.
I meet you at the bar like the night you get back, which is actually on your actual birthday.
Yeah. You
guys down. Look like The Walking Dead, and I'm like, go home.
Oh, dude, it was.
Then you
it was rough.
proceed to tell me that you're going to go to fucking the Grand Canyon the next day. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah. Are you trying to kill yourself on your own fucking birthday?
Hey, look,
what is happening, dude?
I really, really, truly have always and will always just try to take advantage of every moment I can in life. Right. And now at this point, my birthday has always fallen right before Martin Luther King's birthday. So I've always taken like 10 days off. And so I want to go do stuff. I don't want to, spend 10 days waking up not doing something. So I try to make the most out of everything I can. And, I knew we were going to do a road trip. I had, I'd got tires for the truck and done a bunch of different stuff to get the truck set up and ready to go. And so I knew we were going to go on a road trip, but I just really didn't know we were going to the Grand Canyon,
At what point did you decide you're going to the Grand Canyon?
When we left the house. Yeah. We literally woke up, packed, got ready to go, did everything, and had no idea where we were going. Just knew we were going to go.
To Arizona? Did you guys know you were going to Arizona?
I had an idea that it was probably because that's a safe bet for good weather. And so we left the house, and when we left the house, I was like, hey, I've never been to the Grand Canyon. And so we went to the Grand Canyon. And it was...
Was it awesome?
Oh,
and it was snowing.
That's one of the best things about the whole trip for me was it was like 40 to 50 degrees during the day and like 10 to 20 degrees at night everywhere we went.
Right.
Was awesome.
Reminded me of being in the Pacific Northwest.
It made me want to be there and not just be like, hey, man, we got to go inside somewhere. We got to find an air-conditioned building. We got to get in the truck because that heat's too much.
Arizona's nuts.
Yeah. But it was awesome, man. The first night we stayed in this, oh, my God, dude.
So you didn't camp?
No, it was way too cold to camp. Yeah. We ended up staying in hotels, and the hotels most of the time were priced to where it made more sense anyways. The first night we're getting towards Vegas. We stopped at a place called the Pioneer Saloon. Awesome place. If you look it up, if you're heading out to Vegas, it's right after where Terrible's is at the state line.
Oh, okay.
It's back in the mountains from there, and it's a really, really cool spot.
Yeah.
And we went there, and then I started looking for a room because it was about 6 o'clock. So I started just trying to find a hotel. But I didn't want to stay in Vegas. I wanted to find a good spot.
Yeah.
So I look up like boutique hotel, and then there's this spot that shows up, and it shows this tiki bar connected to the hotel. And I was like, all right, here we go. This is perfect.
Hand built for
oh,
Jay,
dude. So we go out. It's in Boulder City, and we get out to Boulder City, and we pull up, and it wasn't Frank's Tiki Bar. It was Matt's bar. It was just Matt's bar. That was it. And the hotel was mostly long-term people. You know what I mean? That one of those.
Okay.
Yeah. And they just happened to have a room that was open, and we got it, and it was like $80, but neither one of us slept. One, every time you moved, it sounded like the bed was going to fall apart. And then I was dreaming. I just, for some reason, was thinking that like somebody's going to break into my truck, and like, you know, and it wasn't that type of city, but that's where my head was at. So I didn't sleep all fucking night, man.
Yeah.
And then Honey proceeded to clown me for the rest of the next day about the whole hotel experience. So then I'm like, so you find someplace. She's like, all right. And then
kills it.
Oh, dude. It was so comfortable and so nice. It was $106 or something like that. And it was so good. Like, just comfortable, luxurious, great hotel. Man. She didn't let me live that down.
I will say the ability, you know, as a guy who has kids, and it's not even a fucking chance on planet Earth that we could pack up and just go somewhere without having the actual plan of what to do. You know what I mean? Like, even when I toured, like, there's a absolute itinerary. You have spots you're going to be in every day. There's no fucking dilly-dallying unless you schedule it. You know what I mean? It makes me so jealous that you just literally can pack up and get the fuck out.
Yeah.
I
thought about you while I was out there.
I bet.
It totally did.
That's nice. Thank you.
Yeah. I was like, God, all them kids.
This guy's stuck at home, just fucking looking at TurboTax, getting pissed, dude, on how much money I'm going to have to pay this year.
You remember one of the first things I told you when I got back?
No.
Hey, anytime you want to use a trailer, just we could talk about it.
I honestly, I'm ready to just use your trailer in your front yard. Just be there from now on, dude. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, I'll
just
understand.
Can I be there?
Yeah.
Like, in your fucking trailer. I'll rent a room, dude. I'll rent your room, one of those rooms out.
Hey.
Man. If you can charge me like $200 a month, I'll rent one of those rooms
just
dude.
to have
Easy.
it every
and
once
I
in a while.
guarantee you, I will only come there to jerk off and fucking like
take a shit
in
comfortably.
peace.
Yeah,
like in peace.
Yeah.
Dude. Imagine taking a shit without someone knocking on the door asking you a question about how to fucking download a game.
I shit with the door open. There's nobody home. Yeah, it is.
You shit with the door open?
Yeah, there's nobody there.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I'm so jealous, dude.
Yeah, I know it's horrible. So the trip, like, going to the Grand Canyon, seeing the Grand Canyon was amazing. I mean, it is. You do just like, there's a lot of different things that you can do, but there's a lot of things that I'm not going to do.
Right.
I have
a
thing with
the skywalk.
Nah, man.
No.
Nope.
I'd pay so much money to see you on that thing.
You would have to get probably 3 or 4 other people that are willing to fucking fight to get me anywhere near. Bad.
Do you really?
Bad.
Okay.
Like, and not. It's not like, hey, I'm scared of heights. It's like, I'm going to stand here, and if anybody gets within hand's distance of me and I feel there's any type of threat, I'm going to rip your fucking face off, dude. It is, and it is a primal evil, like, I would hurt anybody that got close enough to me that I thought was going to try to do something. I would go into just complete psycho rage mode immediately.
That's good to know.
Oh, no. It's
so
not
no skydiving.
Oh, no. Hell
no skydiving
no,
for you,
dude. For what?
Why not? For the thrill, dude.
No. Actually, it's funny because
I mean, you're not going to hit the weight requirement for sure. And neither am I. But I'm just saying, you know, it's not even an option for you right now. But
I was having the same conversation. I
pull your mic down. I can't see your face.
I saw some friends. They run a Harley dealership out in Grand Canyon, Harley, and I went out there and saw them. We all used to work together in Santa Barbara, and we were talking about going to the Grand Canyon, and one of them goes, "Wait a minute, you won't go near the ledge of a cliff?" And I'm like, "Nah, man, it freaks me out." He goes, "Oh, but you'll split lanes at 100 miles an hour while traffic is stopped.
Yeah, totally.
You know, he goes, what the? I like, you know,
it is true.
I thought the exact same thing, you know.
It's weird what we allow ourselves to do and not do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't really have a height thing. It just doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's like seriously unsafe or something. I don't know. I got lowered into a lot of mine shafts when I was a kid, dude. So it's like, I think maybe that might be part of it.
Yeah.
But I have like other things where I'm like, abso-fucking-lutely not.
Yeah.
No, not doing that, dude.
Yeah.
Not doing it. Not doing it.
Grand Canyon was beautiful.
Yeah.
After that, we went, I think we went to Sedona after that.
Oh, Sedona's cool.
And so Sedona was cool.
Yeah.
Gratefully drove through it, stopped, had a drink. That's like saying, hey, let's go have fun and party in Santa Barbara.
Right.
You know, it's a bunch of Patagonia jackets.
Oh, yeah,
and
100%.
And so it was really beautiful. Everything was beautiful. Everything was absolutely amazing. Every step of the way was amazing. There was snow constantly, so there was snow on the ground everywhere. We ended up staying in Prescott after that, and we stayed at a really cool hotel and went and walked around Prescott. And because it was wintertime, it was dead, so that was awesome.
Man, too bad. I got friends here in Prescott.
Oh, Prescott was incredible.
It's a beautiful little town.
If you guys get a chance, Lizard's Lounge in Prescott, Arizona. If you go to my Instagram, Big J SoCal 13 on Instagram, Jason Curran, you can see the fish tank that was at the Lizard Lounge. You saw that one? Yeah, that was great, man. We also went to Jerome, Arizona. If you guys get a chance,
I've never been to Jerome.
oh, it's on the side of a hill. It was an old mining camp.
Oh, okay.
Bobby D's barbecue. Your brisket was definitely better.
Ha! Fuck you, Arizona.
Yeah. Pussifer.
Pussifer.
Yeah, Pussifer. The Keenan, what's his name?
Maynard.
Yeah. He has a record shop up there and a coffee shop. And
that's where his winery is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
he's in Jerome?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
Okay.
went
Did
to
you
his
get-
record shop
you
and stuff.
did?
And yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
No pictures of that, but meanwhile, you take a picture of a fucking fish tank?
Dude, that fish tank was hilarious. That fish tank was so awesome. I mean, I didn't take all you saw really that I took pictures of was the roads. Like I didn't.
I know. Yeah, you sent me. You're like, I'm in the Grand Canyon. It's a snowy road. I'm like, cool pic, dude.
It was a great pic.
Cool
That fucking
pic, bro.
was
Did you
amazing.
use your GoPro for that?
No, I didn't use the Go. I couldn't figure a fucking thing out. Anyways, one of the things that really stood out to me is we stopped at a lot of different spots. We went to different restaurants. We went to different bars. We stayed in a bunch of different hotels. Everywhere we went, I talked to new people and met new people, and not one jerk.
Really?
Not a single.
Interesting.
Everybody was super, super cool, you know, and I had gone to Texas once before, and when they find out you're from California, they can be a
They
bit.
treat you like shit.
Yeah. Not once did that happen, and I seriously waited for that to happen.
Right.
I seriously kept thinking, like every time, because I'm not going to say I'm not, you know, and so every time, oh yeah, I'm from California. Oh, where at?
Yeah.
No, Southern
Well,
California.
Arizona's a bordering state, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like you get that as you get up like north. You get that as definitely when you get in the south. But Arizona is a bordering state, dude. And so many. I mean, think of how many Californians have fucking houses in Havasu. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like,
but
they're used to
you
it.
still, you know, how many people? You know, I went to New Orleans.
Right.
Everybody was cool.
Yeah, but they
I've
don't
been
give a fuck about
everywhere
California.
else, and everybody. I mean, we went on the last day when we were coming home. I wish I'd remember the name of it. It was a bar out in Skull Valley, and it was just a little restaurant bar in the middle of nowhere. And when you walked inside, it looked like an old Western bar.
Oh, okay.
I think the two people that were there, the bartender, couldn't see over the bar. She was so small and she was so old.
Was the bar sunk in or was it?
No,
Oh, okay.
she was just that
small.
Yeah. And then I don't know if it was her husband or not, but I think it was her husband was sitting at the end of the bar, and he was an old cowboy, like cowboy hat, cowboy jacket, everything
The whole deal.
like old cowboy. That was the only time that somebody said anything
about California
negatively to me.
Yeah.
And just, these people came in here and now they're taking over our government. Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and then he told his wife, I got to go check the cows. I'll see you later. Walked out.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Traveling around, like, it's a good perspective, man. Because you realize that all the bullshit you see on social media, all the bullshit you see online, all the arguments, the blah, blah, blah. When you really get fucking down to it, and you can have a good conversation with a random fucking stranger in a bar in a state that you're not from, you realize, like, this place isn't fucking half bad, dude.
I think that more people need to
Get out.
Put your phone down. Mm-hmm. Don't go to San Francisco. Don't go to San Diego. Don't go to Seattle. Mm-hmm. Don't go to Portland. Go to Montana. Mm-hmm. Go to, Denver is kind of the same, but go to Denver. But like New Orleans was amazing, and meeting people was amazing. This whole trip, everybody was super cool. Everybody was friendly. I mean, like really, really say hi to you friendly. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't get that here. You know, there's some of us that do, but for the most part, you don't say it. Not like you do, like people do elsewhere. When you walk down the street elsewhere, people, hi.
Yeah.
Hey, hi.
Right.
You know, here people don't do that. There's,
Ventura's a little bit more unique. You do, I mean, it's not, you do get people that give a shit about people here. When you get into like LA and shit,
100%.
You know what I mean? That's where things change. Everyone has something to sell. Everyone's trying to fucking make it. Everyone's trying to. They have a thing they're doing. They want to tell you about something. You know, whereas like, I think Ventura is a little more unique in the fact that you walk into the fucking right bar at the right time, you're gonna have a cool conversation with somebody.
100%.
And you know, the one thing that was really cool is like, even at like that Jizza show, right? Like hip hop shows are notorious for fucking drama, like chaos, fights, blah blah blah. Not a fucking single problem, dude. Yeah, you know what I mean. And I often think like how many times we see, like we have shows, like at your bar or GG's or anything like that. I've had to hire security like once ever. Yeah, you know, for a show, and it's just not like. You don't have the problem. But you know what I mean?
I think part of that is just also, I think part of that is just the times. You know, I think that especially when we were younger, there was more, there's more testosterone.
Just chaos, yeah.
And just, I mean, but we were also out there.
Right.
You were outside dealing with each other and outside.
You had to be forced to deal with it.
Yeah, and nowadays you don't. You sit around your house and you TikTok and you do all this shit.
Yeah, but is it a problem? Got out and, you know, is it a problem? Is it a problem that has made people a little more apprehensive about being a fucking asshole? You know what I mean? Because like here's the thing, like. Tim Dillion, right? Like, so I wanted to touch on this.
Yeah.
I went to see Tim Dillion after your show, right? I knew I was going to miss fucking the rest of the night, and it was a bummer. But I went to see Tim Dillion, Oxnard, and Levity Live, right? First of all, Tim Dillion was on fucking fire. It was like, dude, it was so insane. He was so even Rosie, who I listened to his podcast with Rosie, and she's like, it's too much. You know what I mean? He's like, everything he says is out of fucking control, right? Yeah. Like and you don't know who he is. He's a comedian. Obviously, he's been on Rogan a couple times and all these things. But the shit that flies out of his mouth is so fucking wrong, like most of the time. But then when you break it down, he's a gay dude. You know, he's actually like a decent human. He just lives in satire, right? That's where he fucking lives. And I saw him before his last special came out. Me and Chris went to Ontario to see him, and it was a really great show. But it was tight. It was like he was obviously ready to record. You know what I mean? Like everything was a tight bit. It was no weird nothing. But this time it was. I mean, he's obviously working on shit, but it's that Tim Dillion rant, like chaos that's coming out, right? Like, and I'm not gonna give away the bit, but he had this whole thing about how we need to sit down and explain to our trans kids that the Ukrainian war is the most important thing on earth right now. And it was fucking, it was like so insane, right? But what happened is a couple times during the set, he had to like break off because we got like VIP passes, so it was like we're very decent seats, you know. He had to break off and be like, tell this table like, hey, dude, chill. Like, I don't know what's going on over here. You guys are fucking talking the whole time. And he was so cool about it. Like 2-3 times actually. He had to be like, hey guys, hey, like, and he was so nice. And this is a guy that could fucking scorch you. You know what I mean? And I've never seen anyone actually get booted out of a fucking show before.
Yeah.
Like that. But, you know, the third fucking time, right? He looks up, this drunk fucking dude in a turtleneck, by the way, is recording him while he's fucking doing it. And then the other 2 guys are like, bleh, 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 you know, just talking and talking. And he goes, hey, is there fucking security here? Can we get fucking rid of these guys? And so security comes. It stops the whole entire show for 15 minutes.
Oh.
Security's arguing with the fucking guy. Eventually, the 2 guys get up and walk out, and everyone boos them. And people are literally throwing shit at him. Like, that's what right? The third guy will not get up, and that's the guy that was recording, right? So finally, security goes, nope. And this fucking giant black dude just yanks this fucking dude up, right? Drags him out, throws him out the fucking side door, literally throws the guy, right? Closes the door, and then Tim Dillon's like, well, you know, I'm sure he's drunk. I hope he drives home. Probably, you know what I mean? He's just, and then he starts destroying him. But now the dude is kicking the fucking door. He's kicking the fucking side door. Why Tim Dillon's like trying to do his thing. It was just such a weird interaction, and I couldn't like, it reminded me that there are actual assholes in the world that have no care whatsoever about what's going on around him. You know what I mean? Like, because at a comedy show, it's a wild move to fucking step up and say some shit.
People at comedy shows, a lot of the times they don't go there because of the comedy.
Right.
They're going there for a party.
Yeah, sure.
And so then they get in their own world and they don't really realize that everybody else there is there to see a show.
Yeah, it's crazy though at this point, and maybe it's because I'm so deep into comedy and I know what it is. It's shocking to me still. You know what I mean? And I've never been to a show where they really had to throw someone out. I've been to shows where they told them to shut the fuck up. They've annihilated them for fucking 10 minutes. But to really actually get someone like thrown out, you know what I mean? And he fucking, I mean, he shit on Oxnard so hard, dude.
Oh, that's an easy thing to do.
Not in like a bad way, you know, but he's like, I'm sure, you know, you guys want to go fuck him up. He's going to be at fucking, what's not Lazy Dog? What's the other, Yard House.
Yard House.
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to find him at Yard House. You know,
yeah.
Like he's just like eating, fucking destroying everybody.
Yeah.
But it's just like, God, what an ignorant fuck.
I've had that happen twice.
What do you mean?
Once was Piranos downtown on Main Street.
Okay.
Quite a while ago. Natasha Leginsky.
Oh, Leggero. Natasha Leggero.
Yeah, she was down there, and I went down there by myself. Saw Todd Glass there too. That was a great show.
Very good. Yeah.
And she was up there trying to work something out. And there was a girl that was sitting right in front of her that wouldn't shut up.
Oh, God.
Just wouldn't. And Tasha's like, hey, man, seriously, shut the fuck up. Like, seriously, stop, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And she just wouldn't shut up. And so way before it should have ended, she went, okay.
You're out.
I'm done.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, she bailed?
She went, okay, I'm done.
Wow.
And she said, that's it. Show's over.
Damn, really?
And got up and walked off stage. And like nobody, you know, I was furious, man. I really, had it been a long time ago, her boyfriend probably would have got slapped.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because it's like, you can't, and
definitely beat up her boyfriend.
You know, just say something.
Right.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, dude. Just stop, you know? And then I think it was Brian Callen. I'm pretty sure it was Brian Callen. The Hong Kong Inn.
Right.
And
I was at that show.
I was sitting kind of in the back, and there was a whole group of women behind me. Oh, God. It might have been a
bachelorette party.
It might have been, but it was a whole group of women.
Right.
And they were just talking as loud as they wanted the whole, and it's like insane. At a certain point in time, I'm like, hey guys, you know, we're trying to watch this comedy show, and
not a care in the world.
Not a single one. And then I'm like, hey man, no, seriously,
shut the
fuck up. Yeah. And then, who are you to and then, you know, at that point I just went, hey man, look, stop being a cunt.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and she snapped and it got a little, you know, but I was so tired of like nicely, hey, please stop. You know, and they just, oh God, dude, I want to kill him, man. And,
oh, dude, it's the worst. You know, and then like I've done this, I've had to do this a couple times where I've been in situations at like, especially like on tour or shows or whatever the fuck, where there is a chick that is just fucking won't stop.
No.
Right. And I've had to like a couple times in my life look at her boyfriend and go, I'm going to knock you out. Like, I'm going to knock you out on behalf.
Yep.
And they're like, you know, and you're like, God damn, can you imagine being with someone like that? You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's a fucking crazy move.
If I was working at the Bermuda Triangle, was a bar downtown Ventura years and years and years ago. And I was standing out front. He was at the birthday party on Saturday night. He was there, but we were standing out front, and he was standing there, and his girl was standing next to him. I was doing security. It was out front, so I was standing there as well. And then there was another dude and this chick, and this chick just kept at him, just kept. Yeah. And he, you know, he quietly was like, "Hey, man, you need to tell your lady to stop. Like, you stop or I'm going to smack you, dude. Like, you need to tell her." And the dude was awkward about it, and he didn't know what to do. And he kept just, and I had turned around and I heard it, that getting cracked in the side of the head, that thunk. And I heard that thunk and I went, up, you should have shut her up. And I turned around and looked, and he was laid out.
Who laid him out?
The guy that told him to shut his lady.
Oh, it was another guy telling him
He had told her, you know, because she was kept talking to Kelly, and Kelly just kept telling him, like, you need to tell her to stop, man. I'm not going to just stand here and take this, and I'm not going to hit her. You need to tell her to stop, and she didn't stop.
Yeah.
And I heard that crack, and then turned around, and he was out.
Yeah, it's insane, dude. It's reminding me of that. What the fuck is that movie with Benicio del Toro? He's like, they're like two assassins. Oh, dude, but it's like Sarah Silverman is in line for a show. Oh, hold on, give me 1 second. Let me fucking find it. I will find it right now. Sarah Silverman.
Hey, so if you guys get a chance, man, seriously, hop in your car and go for a drive. You can throw a tent in there and a sleeping bag, and you're going to meet new people wherever you go. But if you haven't done it, it's so much fun, and it's such a good experience just to see other stuff outside of where we're at, you know. Still think this is one of the most beautiful, epic spots you could live in the world.
That's what it is.
But if you can go on a road trip like that, do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you know, if you got a good friend or a good partner or somebody you can go do it with. I do it by myself on my Harley. You know, I like going and taking these long trips and meeting these new people, but it's so worth it to just get out and get away and just go meet new people to see what people outside of Instagram and TikTok are.
Right. But the movie I'm talking about is The Way of the Gun. Have you seen that?
No.
Dude, you got to watch that movie, right? So it's Benicio del Toro and I can't remember the other guy's name, but the opening scene for that fucking movie, and I will I'm going to show it to you when we're done with this podcast, is so insane because it's Benicio del Toro and this other guy, and they're fucking two like badass fucking, they're not assassins, they're just fucking criminals, right? But they're walking into this club and Sarah Silverman, like they cut in line or something, Sarah Silverman starts just fucking destroying Benicio del Toro. You uncle baby fucking, you know, like just, she's fucking killing her, right? And then like Benicio, he doesn't even say anything. The other guy's like, hey man, if you don't shut her the fuck up, I'm gonna knock you out. You know what I mean? Like tell her to shut the fuck up. You know, and then all this shit like goes on back and forth. And at one point, the guy just drills Sarah Silverman in the face. Right? They start fucking. It starts this huge fight, you know. But it's like she is such a ruthless fucking bitch. Like something happened, you know. And God damn it, The Way of the Gun. You haven't seen that movie?
I don't think so.
You gotta watch it.
I just. Marked
it's one of the classics, dude. Yeah. It's so fucking funny, man. But
seriously,
but it's that type of insanely mouthy bitch that we're like, dude, she's gonna get you in so much trouble.
You know, it's
we all have them, right?
Yeah, we've all been around them. You know, we definitely have had them in our lives at points, but I can't. I have so little tolerance for that.
Yeah.
You know, I cannot handle it.
Oh,
I
it's
cannot,
insane,
man. I immediately go to, hey, you need to, you know, usually when I get in that situation, if we're around people, I'll just quietly whisper in their ear, you know, hey, you need to just shut the fuck up and knock it off.
For me, I have my sister, Carly, is that chick.
Oh.
She will fight any man on planet Earth. And she can throw hands. So that's the problem. She can fucking knock a grown man out, like pretty, you know, she's got mean in her. But that bit, every fucking time like when we were young, I was like 20, 23, 24. She's 21. She wants to like come hang at the bar. Every fucking time we went, I was like, oh, here we go. She's called some dude something, some chick's looking at her, you know what I mean? All this shit. And I remember there was a time where we were in the bar at Billy's, and this girl that I know, and she's a pretty feisty chick. Something happened, and she goes, hey, your sister's like mad dogging me. And I went, I can't explain to you how much you don't want that heat. You know, because she's known for being like a badass bitch in this town or whatever at one point. And I was like, you don't want it, dude. Like, my sister's, first of all, looking at you because you're looking at her. And my sister's also the same bitch you are. Like, you're both looking at each other like, what the fuck's wrong? You know what I mean? I was like, I can't explain to you how much this is going to fuck you up right now, dude. But I've been in so many situations with my sister where I'm like, a Marine is going to kill me. You know what I mean? Or you're making out with a dude that looks like an absolute skinhead. And now I have to fucking kill this guy. Yeah. You know, like, it's just like, it's such a fucking nightmare, dude.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare. Some people are that actual living nightmare, you know? Speaking of nightmares, should we talk about it? The Tyree Nichols thing?
Yeah, man.
A little bit, right?
Yeah.
It's fucking horrendous. Did you watch the videos?
No, God,
you didn't?
No, man. I've been in vacation mode,
right?
And
I
didn't
want
to get into it, you know. And I started to read about it, and you and I kind of started to talk about it, and I definitely would, you know, a lot of the times when you're wearing that badge, it's about the badge,
right?
And it's not about 4 black dudes that were wearing a badge,
right?
It was about 4 cops.
It's cops
that killed another black person,
right?
You know, and it's absolutely insane.
It's nuts, dude.
Yeah,
I watched. So they released the body cam footage from all 4 cops, right?
Oh.
And I watched a couple minutes of you know, like just like looking around because it's, you know, you hear. It's like, fuck, man, here it is again, you know, and you assume it is white cops. Always. You know what I mean? You always assume it's white cops beating the fuck out of a black kid. You know what I mean? And this time it's not. And I'm sure that shit happens more often than we fucking see. You know what I mean? But it doesn't get presented like that. But the way in which they did it was so fucking bad. And I don't know what exactly the circumstances were. I think he got pulled over for reckless driving. Maybe he was drunk. Maybe blah, blah, blah. But I watched a big portion of that, dude. And it just, this kid's on the ground. The cops are taking running kicks at his head while one of them's hitting with a baton. You know what I mean? And you're like, fuck, man. And then it's like, the weird part is that you realize, like, they're all fucking black dudes. You know what I mean? And it's, I don't know I don't know how the neighborhood works. I don't know any of that shit. You know what I mean? There's so many nuances to this shit. I'm not even giving the cops an excuse whatsoever. But when you see that shit, and then you realize it's like, of all the race relation shit that's going on in this country, which there's plenty to fucking complain about, and you realize it's 4 black men beat the living fuck out of this kid. He was in the hospital and was not going to make it. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck, man. And someone wrote this like perfect little meme. It was like, if ACAB is the word, today we're capitalizing the A. You know what I mean? Because all cops are bastards. You know what I mean? Like, I don't agree with that statement completely, but a lot of fucking cops are pricks, dude. You know what I mean? Especially when you get that meathead mentality.
I've spent all of my life around people that lived in the gray to the not gray, like very not gray my whole life. And I have watched cops beat people my whole life.
Right.
You know, I've stood there on the street with cousins and friends that were black and
helpless
and completely get treated differently than them, and we're standing next to each other doing the same fucking crime.
Right.
And they just completely treat us totally different. You know, and yeah, there's good cops, man. There definitely is good cops.
Man.
Yeah, and I've met some that have been really cool and really, you know, have been great. You know, but a cop's a cop, man. You know, whether they're brown or Asian or white, you know, a lot of the times it's white guys that are doing it, but most cops are white. It's
most
not,
cops are
you know,
white. Right. The ratio is most cops are white. Right?
The ratio is most people are white. You know, I think it's 14% of the people in the United States are black.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I wonder.
Oh, yeah, okay. No, it's 14% or maybe more now, but it's around 14%. And then it's like, no, it's a real. And then like 80% of the people in prison are black.
Right.
You know, I mean, these are real stats.
Yeah, no,
you know, I pay attention to this stuff. And, you know, when you know, whatever that number is or whatever that is, when I've been around it, cops, you know,
They act like fucking cops, dude.
Yeah.
Cops act like cops.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But it's like, at what point, when you have 4 motherfuckers and a guy is basically subdued, you know what I mean? And they're big guys. The guy was Tyree was like a fucking, he's not a big guy. He looked like he was tall, but he's a scrawny guy.
I've seen some videos of him, and regardless, I don't care if they're all 5'6" or 5'7" and he's 6 foot.
Right.
4 cops, I don't care.
Right.
Should be able to handle one guy without killing him.
At what point, like, when you're watching 3, like, not one of those fucking cops at any time thought, off. Like, this is fucked. Like, we got him, dude. We got him.
Yeah, stop.
We fucking got him, right?
Yeah.
Like, at what point do you, like, think about it? You know, it's like, and it's just,
and anytime
you can talk about lack of training, lack of fucking giving a fuck about your communities. You know, there's a million things to think about, but at, like, what point when you're watching 3, they're taking turns. When you're watching 3 fucking grown men beat a kid to death, do you go, like, I think we're good here?
Yeah.
You know, it's fucking heartbreaking, man.
Again, not on race. I'm thinking that, and these guys are going to prison for sure.
Maybe, possibly.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure that this one ain't going to get, you know, I mean.
So then that brings up a whole nother fucking thing, right?
Yeah.
The white cops don't seem to go to fucking jail. I mean, the last few that have happened, they have, right?
Well, the white cops didn't used to go to jail, and the black cops got away with stuff before too.
Sure.
So it's not about, again, it's not about race. It's about them being cops.
Right. Yeah.
You know, because in the past, no, cops never got in trouble for anything. Never. You know, they'd get paid leave.
Right.
You know, and now there's consequences for their actions.
Right.
You know, but another thing that, this is separate from this incident, but another thing that I keep saying that I don't even know is these guys that go out there and intentionally incite stuff with cops and intentionally do stuff to cops, not just to cops. They do it to security guard. They do it to people.
Yeah.
Like these prank dudes and these people that you see out there. I'm like, man, you like, why do you think this is okay?
Right, right.
Why do you think it's okay to tell a cop, fuck you?
Right.
Why?
Good luck.
Because you got a camera and you're entitled and, you know, and you see these cops just stand there going like, man, come on. You know, and it's not normally black kids that are doing it. It's normally these white
rare,
kids.
Like on the, how, as far as percentage wise, people that are out there willing to fuck with a cop. You know what I mean? I see
I think
it's not a huge fucking majority of people that are doing it. You know
I don't think it's a huge majority, but I think it's becoming a thing.
Oh, it is a thing.
For people of a certain age to think that it's okay to just walk up on a cop and act stupid.
Say some shit.
Yeah. Or to, you know, And again, it's not very often it's black people doing it, and it's not very often it's Mexican kids doing it.
No, it's white.
It's white kids that
I see a lot of
like,
videos of like people getting pulled over, or like filming cops. I can fucking do this.
I do whatever I want.
Yeah, all that shit.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, okay, you're looking for fucking trouble. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I've also on the other spectrum, I work around a lot of cops, and some of them are fucking awesome, and some of them you're like, I don't fucking like you, dude.
Oh,
and because they have the attitude of, we can't fucking say nothing, we can't do nothing anymore, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, yeah, stop fucking killing people, dude.
Yeah.
Stop killing everyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I understand that you're trying to do a fucking job, but your job is literally life and death most of the time. You know what I mean? And I understand that your life is important. You got a family to feed, all these things. But motherfucker, stop killing people. You know what I mean? Like, it's what the fuck, you know? Like, it's not like this shit's unwarranted.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like the fucking, it's just out of fucking nowhere that cops haven't been abusing the fuck out of people for their whole lives, you know?
It's what, and I've been preaching on this for too long, but it really just comes down to, this has been going on forever. Mm-hmm. You know, I was in elementary school and I watched him beat up my uncle. I've watched him slam people around. Mm-hmm. I've heard them say horrendous stuff, and you know, but I never was on the receiving end because I'm white.
Yeah.
And but I watched all of this stuff happen before there were cameras. Mm-hmm. Then cameras came into play, and like when Rodney King got the shit kicked out of him,
right?
Everybody I knew went, oof. Man, they caught him.
Like for the first time.
No, it was because
on film.
It was because the first time it was on film. But everybody I was around was like, "Whoa,
I've seen that.
When you run, you're getting your ass whooped." It was like, you know, if you decide to take off and you decide you're going to run, if you get caught, you're going to get hurt. You're going to the next day you're going to wake up with some sore ribs or a black eye or something's coming because you ran.
But at that point, you're going to beat the fucking guy to death. Well, you know what I mean? That's where it gets wild. You know?
But that's the videos. You know, I watched them when there was a guy named Frank. Actually, I can remember his last name. In Lemonwood when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And I watched this, stood there on the sidewalk and watched the cops catch him because he ran from him. Mm-hmm. They caught him. I watched him beat the shit out of him. Mm-hmm. When he was helpless, and then I watched them pick him up, taking him to the car, and when they got to the car and opened the door, they cracked his forehead across the top of the rail, across the top of the car, and then threw him into the car, and they like broke his arm. Yeah. You know, I mean, he got out of jail, he was all jacked up, man, from it, you know, and you ran, you know, and you didn't comply, you know, but there just was no cameras.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, Red Fox, Richard Pryor, any old black comedian, any old Mexican comedian or whatever, they all talk about, you know, you can listen to Red Fox's stand-up from the 70s. Right. You can listen to Richard Pryor from when he first started. Mm-hmm. They all have jokes about cops beating them up.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's just been going on. It's just now we're in a place where everybody has a high-end, high-definition camera in their pocket.
Yeah, but it's
and they can film it.
Then
you know,
and you know, it's like, and then nothing changes. You know
no,
I mean? It becomes clickbait.
Blows my mind.
It's an excuse for fucking entitled white kids to get out and fucking destroy a city. You know what I mean? Which is like nuts.
And then watching that shit.
You know.
No bullshit, real news. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, real news, no bullshit.
No real news, no bullshit. Yeah. Since you told me about that, anybody
fucking videos.
Listen to, like, check out their videos, man. They post stuff that makes you not want to read their stuff because you go, ooh, that's kind of true. I want to ignore that until it happens. You know. Yeah. But watching that.
It's just rough, dude. All the, you got New York, you got L.A., fucking
so that's
Atlanta.
What it was, is I was watching that, and I think they were in L.A., but they might have been someplace else. It might have been Nashville, whatever it was. Yeah. But there's a guy standing on top of a cop car, kicking the windows out of a cop car. And I'm looking, he's wearing a black sweatshirt, and he's got the bag on and the whole thing. But I looked at his hands, and you never got to look at his face. But I looked at his hands. He was a white kid.
White kid.
Yeah, and then you watch the cops dragging him off the cop car, and you're like,
it's
you know,
crazy,
you're just making this worse for everybody.
It's
Instead of like really
horrendous.
getting out there and talking about it and trying to figure it out, it just incites everything. And nobody else really looked at his hands. Everybody else is assuming it's a BLM guy or something, you know.
Yeah, but it's an excuse for fucking kids to get out and just fuck shit up. You know? Which it's a bummer. I mean, it's weird that it's even come to that, you know. But my heart goes out to the family, dude. I can't even fucking imagine. I mean, I pray to God you make millions and millions and millions of fucking dollars in a lawsuit. That won't change anything. It won't bring anything back. But fuck, man, stop fucking people up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, having said that, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
We got a lot of good guests coming on the next couple of weeks. We got some bands coming in. We got some cool fucking solo entrepreneurs. It's going to be some cool shit. So, as always, please rate, subscribe, review, comment, tell your fucking friends about this podcast. If you watch us on YouTube, subscribe, hit the notifications bell. I really appreciate you guys.
Love you guys. Thanks for being here. If you were at my birthday party on Saturday, I appreciate you. If you couldn't make it, I totally understand unless you're my family, and then you guys can just kiss my ass.
All right, man. Bye.
Late.